Okay, so one of the questions in the exam paper may ask you to infer from pictures. What this broadly means is that you look at the document as a whole. It will usually be a newspaper article or something similar. You look at the pictures and you figure out what sort of meaning, what sort of idea the picture is trying to get across. And to do that, you sort of get a broad idea of what the article or whatever it is about, and you can usually do that by looking at the headline and the introduction. So we're going to have a bit of a practice now, looking at 3 different newspaper articles online and seeing if we can infer meaning, so we can sort of figure out what the picture is adding to those newspaper articles. So, for the first one, we've got an article here about plastic waste in the sea. And we can tell that from the title. The title says, "The Earth's climate is paying for our addiction to plastic." And a little bit of blurb underneath that says, "Every stage of the plastic lifestyle releases harmful carbon emissions into the atmosphere, contributing to global heating." So this is clearly an article about the environment, in particular about plastic waste. Now, what can we infer from this picture here? Pause the video and just jot down some notes. Okay, so it's a picture of large amounts of plastic waste. We can see plastic drinks bottles in there. Those are things that we'd have in our home, things that we'd probably buy without even really thinking about it. So we can infer from this that plastic waste is a problem. The picture is showing us that plastic waste is a problem, and it's perhaps trying to get across an idea that plastic waste that we all generate is a problem. Now, if you said anything along those lines, you would be correct. If you talked about it being a picture of plastic waste, so it tells us that plastic waste is a problem, you'd be correct. Additionally, if you'd sort of pointed out that they're drinks bottles that everyone might buy, so it's sort of telling us that it's kind of everybody's problem, again, that would be a correct interpretation. As long as your interpretation, as long as what you put is along the right lines, you're correct here. So let's have a look at the second newspaper article. Now, this one is about weather at the moment, and the headline says Tropical Britain, and it gives some details about the current weather conditions at the moment I made this video. Now, as we can see here, quite a big bold headline. We've got use of exclamation marks here, so this is getting across that this weather is unusual, it's out of the ordinary, and it certainly feels like it is. So let's scroll down and look at some of the pictures to do with this. Well, the first one we've got here is of a weather map. So what could we infer from that? Pause the video, jot down some ideas. Okay, so we might infer from the weather map that it's sort of given us a almost scientific idea of what's going on. So we can see here the various different colours overlaying a map of the British Isles. So we get the idea that it's somehow tracking the storm. It's got something to do with this weather going on. Let's have a look at some other pictures. So here we've got a picture, and the caption underneath says, "A pair of young girls are pictured swimming through a flooded underpass after torrential rain struck Stirling in Scotland this morning." So, pause the video, see what you can infer from that. Okay, so this is clearly out of the ordinary, isn't it? So the idea of this picture is to highlight that these are not ordinary conditions. It's a flooded underpass. However, you could have also sort of commented on the fact that the girls seem to be enjoying themselves. So maybe even though the weather is bad, people are still finding room to enjoy it. You know, it's unusual, it's a bit novel, and people are enjoying it. If we look elsewhere, we've got a short video clip. Obviously you won't get this in the exam, but it's still interesting to infer, of Tesco roof collapsing as flash floods hit. So pause the video, what can you infer from that? Okay, so obviously you can see stuff being damaged in the store here. This is going to massively inconvenience people. So you could have inferred from this that there's an element of cost here. That unlike the first picture, where it's people clearly enjoying themselves even though the weather's very bad and unusual, this picture sort of highlights the financial damage, the economic damage that might be caused by this. People's lives being put out of place, really. So, let's have a look at our last newspaper article. Now this one is quite dramatic. The headline tells us straight from the start, "Car loaded with gas canisters rams into gates of US Embassy in Seoul." So, let's have a look at the pictures and see what we can infer from them. So, first picture, what we got here? Pause the video. Jot down some ideas. Okay, so this seems to show pictures of the gas canisters inside the car itself. So you might have put down that it's sort of highlighting the potential danger caused by this. You might even put down that it looks like a crime scene photo, which it certainly does, which obviously sort of highlights the idea that this is, you know, something dramatic, potential terrorist attack maybe. Let's have a look at some of the other pictures. So what have we got in this picture and what can we infer from it? Pause the video, have a think, jot down some ideas. Okay, so in this picture we can see a line of police officers. We can see the police emergency tape. We can see the crashed car. So we can infer from that that it's sort of quite dramatic. It's showing us images that happened. We've got the crashed car. We've got some sort of incident. And again, it looks like a police crime scene photograph. So again, it's highlighting the idea that this is some sort of crime, some sort of dramatic event. So there we go. That's what we mean when we say inferring information from pictures. We're looking at how the pictures support the article or the leaflet or whatever that you're reading. And we're thinking about what the pictures add to that, what they say, basically. So you can have a go at some of the activities now.